Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we have a visitor here and we want to do an expectation versus reality video. My name is Annabelle, to those who are new to this channel, and our visitor here is
Jay.
Mr. J. If you watched my husband rates my outfit video, you definitely know him by now. We are going to do an expectation versus reality video. In Germany, here, the government prepares papers about each and every country for the Germans themselves when they want to visit these different countries. And so they get these papers, you just get these papers online, and then you read about each country that you visit or that you want to visit, so that you actually have a little bit of knowledge.
You know what to expect.
You know what to expect when you visit a certain country, or you have a little bit of knowledge about a certain country. And so when he visited Zimbabwe for the first time, of course he had to read this paper and find out what Zimbabwe is all about. And so today we're going to talk about the details of this paper, what was on this paper, and the reality that was on the ground when he finally visited Zimbabwe for the first time.
We are not only using this paper because not all the topics are covered with this paper. This paper is for tourists, so we also add some pictures that are transported by media and helpers organizations that also want to give us Europeans and Germans a picture of Africa that suits them. And now we want to just compare it to my reality.
Yeah, so we divided these things into 4 categories, which is food, infrastructure, health, and education. This is basically what we're going to talk about, the expectations about these things and the reality on the ground, on how these things are in Zimbabwe. So are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, let's start this video, guys. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is food. So what was your expectation, or did you read anything on the media or whatever about what you thought about food in Zimbabwe?
Yeah, okay. First thing is Africa and tropical areas in the world. You always have this picture of bananas, pineapples, all sorts of fruit, and you're just living in a fruit bowl salad paradise. But the other pictures, of course, coming from the helper organizations that say there is no food at all and people are sitting in the mud and are begging for a handful of rice and they have nothing, and yeah.
Yeah, but I also think this is true, because for me, every time when there's a picture about Africa on media or anything, it's always about this hungry child who's looking for help and wanting food and empty stomach and naked. So was it actually like this?
No. Every house that I saw had its own mango tree, its own lemon tree, its own avocado tree. I love mangoes, lemons and avocado, by the way. They were planting their own vegetables. Many people also had some people had also chicken, and yeah, so there's a basic stuff that is in every little garden. And of course we were eating out, and we had the best chickens on earth. We had the best beef. There were plenty of beans, and of course zarza. Zarza is a mashed stuff from corn. And every meal was very satisfying, and I was never going to bed with an empty stomach, and they were never running out of food.
Yeah, if you watch my expectation versus reality video, you probably know this. To be honest with you guys, the fruits here taste totally different. Like the fruits back home, like the fruits here are imported.
Yeah, imported.
Yeah, and so they are not really fresh when you're buying them. Yeah, you can actually be lucky to get a fresh one, a good one, especially a mango, my favorite fruit, of course. But yeah, this is the reality of it. Like the food is better back home than here, because we actually plant on our own. Like we actually have the good climate for doing all this.
Yeah.
The second thing that we want to talk about is health.
Okay, this paper said be careful in Zimbabwe because when you're eating or drinking the wrong water or food, you might get cholera. When you are in the wrong area, a mosquito might bite you and you might get malaria. And yeah, okay, if you survive all of this, then you might just get killed. But this is another topic that we don't want to touch today. Yeah, this paper also says, this government paper says that the hospitals are not like the European hospitals. The standard is lower. There are no special doctors for special issues like, yeah, sports doctors or stuff like this. Yeah, and yeah, you should have a good insurance so that the government might fly you out if you have an issue. Yeah, this was my expectation. If you're getting sick, and when you're sick, you're getting lost. You're
dying.
You're dying. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I think it's true. When you're drinking bad water, then you're just getting cholera or infected, or.
Yeah, this is the case everywhere in the world when you're drinking bad water. But the water was good. The first time I was going there, the water tasted perfect from the tap. The second time there was a little bit of chlor for disinfection, so they actually care for that the water is clean. Yeah. Yeah,
but you can also talk about you traveling with your skin problems.
Okay. When I was first traveling to Zimbabwe, I still had skin issues. My skin of my face and my hands were itching, and I had it quite from birth, right? So we arrived in Zimbabwe, and after 3 days of healthy environment, good food, good water, I had baby clean skin. I never had it in my life before. It was amazing.
True, this is very true, guys. Like, his skin was totally healed. We don't know where it was coming from, but all of a sudden the skin problems disappeared, and his face is as clean as I don't know now. Like, he never had them again, or like on
yes,
face?
No. I had it again when we were flying back to Germany. On our flight back, when we crossed the border to Europe, my skin was starting to itch again, but never as bad as before.
Yeah, so there's actually something in Zimbabwe too. He got his skin healed.
I'm not done yet. They say they also have not only the normal pharmacies like in Europe, right? But also pharmacies with how do you call it? Traditional medicine. Of course, these papers consider all this traditional medicine bogus. But on the other hand, you have to take into consideration that in Europe, millions of people are trying to find back to traditional medicine from China, from the old German tribes, from whomsoever. At least it has to be natural, so we are seeking for this. They just have it.
When you're talking about natural medicines, I still remember when I was young, when I was growing up, I used to have problems with my eyes. And so every time my eyes were itching, my mother would just get tomato leaves from the garden, crush them, and just put the juice from the tomato leaves on my eyes, and then it would just stop.
Tomato juice for eyes, right?
Yeah, this is natural healing.
Did it help?
Yeah, it was really helping.
Okay, good.
Yeah. The third thing that we are going to talk about is education. What do you have to say about education?
From what the helper industry is saying and the newspapers, you might expect that education is very low. People are sitting in the mud, not having enough energy to think, covered with flies all over, and education is not important, and it's not there. But reality is different.
What's the reality?
Reality is there are schools. The schools are beautiful. The communities are caring for the schools. The teachers are motivated, as far as I saw, and the students are motivated too. Education is highly appreciated. People are paying a lot of money for sending their kids to schools too. There are boarding schools, much more than in Germany. And the school, the degrees, the system is according to the British system. So when you make a degree, you have actually the British degree, and you can compare it to other European degrees. And with A levels, you have something like Abitur here, which is not bad. You can just come here and you're on the same level.
Okay.
And I also have to say, we are drowning in information here. People are reading a lot. Most of it is maybe bullshit, maybe not. And this drowning information is not so common in Zimbabwe, but people are very, very clever. They have a very healthy mind. When you explain something from whatever you learned, when you explain something in Germany, then people might just say, I don't know, in Zimbabwe they are getting it. They really understand quickly whatever you're explaining. And whenever they are explaining something, they have points. I was very impressed.
Okay, yeah. I also went to a boarding school. Like, we have really so much boarding schools in Zimbabwe. Like, education is put on first. Like, you'd rather not wear clothes or new clothes, but pay school fees. Although I might say that education in Zimbabwe is very expensive, because we pay school fees like from kindergarten until we finish in university or something like this. This is something that is really hard. Education is very, very, very expensive. Like, our parents just have to go to work for us to go to school. Yeah, this is actually what I would say, comparing it to the
and maybe this is why education is so appreciated, because it costs. Education is for free, and what's for free is worth nothing, right?
Yeah, this is very true. Final thing that we want to talk about is infrastructure. We're talking about houses, transport, electricity, and all that. I'm sure if you haven't been to Africa, you have already an idea or an expectation of how it might look like when it comes to electricity and houses. Probably you're thinking we live in trees. What do you have to say about this?
They are living in trees and they are living on the mud. This is the truth. No, I'm joking. Okay, when you go through the papers and through what you're fed with on information, then you might have the impression that there are no proper roads. All the roads are just bad. There is almost no electricity, no water. People have to dig for water, wait for the rain. And of course, telecommunication, phones, maybe once somebody in the city might have one, right? And houses, you might really think they're tree houses only, or just straw huts or whatsoever. Reality is different, and not all parts of reality are different, but and. Okay, please cut it out. So we are going here step by step. Transport and roads. So the railway is actually really run down, but they are rebuilding it now. The main roads are okay. The roads in the city, they have these potholes. They are not so okay, but you can still drive on them. And then the smaller roads, they are consisting of parts that can be used in between all of the potholes. Mm-hmm. So it's really a big arts or sports to drive a car through this. So some streets are really not so good, I have to admit. The papers say you're not supposed to travel by bus. I traveled by bus, I'm still alive. It's okay. Papers are saying the airplanes are banned from European air, right? Mm-hmm. I never heard about a Zimbabwean airplane crashing or anything.
So your expectation was like you will never get transport from point A to point B.
I have to walk or wait for a miracle. Yeah.
Or fly, or develop wings and fly.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So did you really like our type of transport? Like, we have mini buses. Stop laughing. We have mini buses that are more like, we call them amakombi. I mean, if you're from Zimbabwe and you know this, please comment down below. Just amakombi, and then I'll understand what you're talking about. Where we actually, it's an 18-seater or something, and then we are just paying $1. Did you really like the type of transport?
Okay, when I first saw this bus, I thought, okay, there's space for the driver and 4 more people, maybe 6. But actually there are 20 people are fitting into this bus. I don't know how, but I experienced it, and it was a little bit touchy, but it was okay.
Yeah.
It was okay.
It's comfortable for us. It's okay. Like, yeah, it looks small, but it fits 18 people. We are sitting like this, and then it's still working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what I don't like is there are no bus stations with signs where you can see which bus you are waiting for going to this and this place. There's nothing like this. There's just an intersection where people are waiting, and the driver who's coming is just shouting something that European ears don't understand, and without a local guide you're just lost, to be honest.
Okay, yeah. So it's not like here where the bus stops and every bus stop. No, you actually have to say next right turn, like you have to tell the bus driver that you are dropping off, because it's not going to stop if you don't tell them. And there are no maps of where you're going to where you are going. There's someone on this bus who's just going around and telling, we are going to the city, and then you just have to stop or give the driver a sign that you also want to go to the city. There's no plan or anything like this. But yeah, it wouldn't be Africa if it didn't have things like this.
You need a local guide. Business idea for resident Zimbabweans. Be a local guide for tourists.
Yeah, but did you talk about houses?
Oh,
Do we
houses.
live in trees?
No, they don't. There are houses, most of them are single story, but there are also apartment flats with stairs. And the houses are just fitting to the climate. They are simple, but it doesn't need more. The houses have walls, windows, doors, roof, water, electricity, a fridge, a kitchen, bathrooms, sleeping rooms, living rooms, everything.
Yeah, like with electricity, we have parts of the city, we have villages where they don't really have electricity. And we also have the cities. The cities have normal electricities, like what he says, televisions, fridges, and everything. We have all that, guys. So when you're reading these papers, don't get the impression that Africa is as bad as these papers say. But yeah, just give it a try. And so what do you have to say? I mean, your expectations versus reality, although it was after reading this paper or anything, would you want to give a last comment?
Zimbabwe they say it's one of the poorest countries on earth, and I expected there might not be electricity everywhere, no water everywhere, and telecommunication, cell phones. It must be difficult, but people are just living a normal life. There's everything. I don't know what they're talking about.
Maybe you'll believe it if you don't hear it from me. So that's it for today's video, guys. Thank you for watching, and please leave a comment and comment down below if you have been to Africa, and just comment your expectations versus reality about Africa, like what you thought it was and what the reality was. And if you haven't been to Africa and if you want to visit maybe Africa or Zimbabwe, just also comment down below and let me know. It will be interesting to know, I mean, those who've been there and those who haven't been there. So thank you guys for watching once again.